Could see Trump's impact for decades to come. Of course, the Supreme Court. As president, he'll nominate at least one justice, we know that, and perhaps more, perhaps a number more. Here's what he said about Supreme Court appointments throughout his campaign. Watch this.
Once the election is won, we'll be able to put Supreme Court justices up that will do a fabulous job. Because let me tell you, if we lose this election, you're going to have 3, 4, or maybe even 5 justices, and this country will never, ever recover. It will take centuries to recover. Perhaps the single most important thing the next president is going to have to do is pick Supreme Court justices. The justices that I'm going to appoint will be pro-life. They will have a conservative bent. They will be protecting the Second Amendment. They are great scholars in all cases, and they're people of tremendous respect. They will interpret the Constitution the way the founders wanted it interpreted. And I believe that's very, very important. I don't think we should have justices appointed that decide what they want to hear. It's all about the Constitution and so important, the Constitution the way it was meant to be. And those are the people that I will appoint.
The Constitution, the way it was meant to be. Molly, I do think this specific issue is one of the main reasons that conservatives, evangelicals, voted for Trump. He's not one of them, but they thought, we know exactly what she's going to do. Is he going to make good on their hopes for the Supreme Court?
One of the only times you saw Donald Trump express humility during the campaign was when he talked about evangelical support for him. He understood that people were putting a lot of faith in him and a lot of trust in him, and he's going to reward that loyalty. And he committed to this as recently as last week when he said he was going to nominate a justice from his list of 21 really good conservative justices. So that's definitely going to happen. All of the incentives are aligned to make sure that happens for that first nominee. He also needs to do it for the rest of the nominees that come forth, not just at the Supreme Court level, but every other judicial opening. This could really be his legacy, is returning the court to a more constitutional
I think he will, because he put out the numbers. I will just correct one thing, though. There was one other moment where he expressed humility, was my favorite. He was saying, there will be a lot of attack ads against me. All of them lies. And then he paused and goes, well, not all of them lies. Which I loved. But, I mean, is that the list of 21? He's not going to pick, I mean, why wouldn't he pick Ted Cruz? I know he's not on the list. But it kind of takes him out of the political realm, which might be helpful.
I think it would be
good.
I think it would be terrific in a lot of ways.
We'd have Ted Cruz forever.
But he wouldn't be in the Senate. And Democrats would be like, they couldn't vote for him fast enough just to get him out of here. So terrible.
That's totally true.
But to, along with what Molly was saying, it would kind of be a little frightening because, I don't want him to go anywhere off the list. This is one thing that he can't ad lib. This is the one thing he simply can't be left to his own freewheeling. As much as I love when he's freewheeling and off the wall and says crazy stuff, this is the day that Justice Antonin Scalia died was a terrifying moment.
It was.
When you think, and even as somebody who liked Donald Trump from the very beginning, it was sort of a terrifying moment because it was like, okay, he gets everything in the main generally, and he understands that you don't have to be an expert to run this country, in my opinion. But that one requires a certain, appreciation of some of the finer points that I'm not entirely certain that he gets, which is what is so dang appealing about him. But he can make the argument, go back to the original argument, which is, does the Constitution mean what it says, as Republicans or conservatives believe, or does it just mean whatever you feel like it means? And because we want to change it, but going through the changes of a constitutional amendment is too much of a hassle. We just want to change it to mean whatever we say it means. That's a great argument. That's a great fight, and conservatives should be able to win that fight. And I could see a guy that as plain spoken as Donald Trump making a great argument for
that. They'll win it the first time, for sure, Jessica, because the first appointment just brings the court back to stasis, to the balance it has for,
And we have to pray that RBG lives forever.
That'd be Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Yeah, sorry.
Those of us who are not liberal.
You still know who she is. I hope.
But
she's
it's
the little cute one that's
It's the second appointment if one of the people from the left leaves the court. I mean, that's a real fight. But what do Democrats do? They don't have the majority.
No, there's not a lot that you can do. I mean, you can, pray a little bit about it, find God. Liberals find God about that.
So it really is kind of bringing religion back to the Democratic Party.
Well, we'll see, how the how the lay of the land looks when this actually comes up. But yeah, I think there's a lot of hope that has to go along with this, that also the fact that President Obama put up Merrick Garland, who is a more reasonable choice. I mean, he could have gone for an extreme leftist judge. Not that he was going to get through any of this at this point, but he did try to go more centrist. And I believe Hillary Clinton would have as well. That is where she is more naturally anyway. That, you know, there is some truth to the fact that Republicans have said, or at least Donald Trump, that he has an interest in working with Democrats. But I think that you're both right. And, I mean, Republicans are in very good position right now in terms of the court. And that is, I believe, what turned a lot of these never-Trumpers into Trumpers for this purpose, because they got scared about a leftist activist court that was going to come about if Hillary Clinton got into office. And, yeah. All the praying.
How grateful are you that Harry Reid has taken the nuclear option, or has put the nuclear option on the table?
So grateful.
So grateful.